All right, ladies, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. So we are excited to have you here. We're a little short-staffed on the show, and we really need all the help we could get. So I'd like to take you inside and see what you guys can do, and hopefully you can help us out. All right, let's do this. This is John. He writes the show with me and Sue.
Hi guys.
He's the only writer we have. So any ideas you can come up with. The Jewish ideas are the ones we're looking for, but they could be anything. They could be non-Jewish ideas. Right.
We could do something about how black people and Jewish people have a lot in common, being oppressed people all over the world.
Okay.
Is that not funny enough?
No, that's really funny.
Because it's very topical, you know.
Yeah.
Do you find oppression funny?
I think it's good to have a sense of humor about oppression.
What happens is the black people and the Jewish people then get into an impression competition, like who had it worse, you know? And then it just becomes a show. It becomes more of a game show.
Game show,
It becomes
yeah.
more of a game show. Who has it worse? You got anything else? No.
I
There's a
can
lot
sing.
more. Sing? Okay, we don't have a singing thing, but we got ideas.
I can sing funny songs.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that.
We'll
come
keep
back.
that in mind.
Yeah. Let's try something else. Writing is not gonna happen. So if you guys can do any editing, that would be tremendous. Any editing skills?
I like to organize offices. I could help you.
You can clean up a little bit in here.
We could do like a photo shoot while we're cleaning up in here, and like, or maybe like a music video of us cleaning up in here and like singing
like
songs
that.
about
Yeah.
oppression.
Any of you do editing? Have you ever done any editing? Any of you done any editing? No editing. All right, let's keep going. Let's.
Sounds like a really funny show.
Yeah, we only got 2 phones, so you just relax, okay? Maybe write some impression songs.
Stress ball.
Use a stress ball. You book a guest, and you book a guest, whoever you can think of, anyone you can come up with. Let's see if you can do that, all right?
Hi, 411. Hi, I'd like to get Barbara Streisand's number. What do you mean she's not listed? No, don't you know who I'm working for? James and Sunda. No, can you just give me Barbara Streisand's number?
Okay, thank you. I got Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, okay. Our fans will love that. Okay, let's try something else. We're gonna try something else. Okay.
I met Jimmy Carter on an airplane once.
Really? All right, ladies, you did tremendous work, really, but I don't think any of that was exactly right for you all, so I think I know something you can do and do well, all right? And I think I got the right job for you, okay? All right, here we go. Get to work! All right, you know what? You're doing a tremendous job, seriously. Incredible.
Thank you.
But you gotta use paint, okay? You gotta put some paint on the brush, and then the color will change. See, the color's the same. You keep doing that, that's what's happening.
Okay,
But he's great. Great technique.
thank you.
Yeah.
We have to use paint. We have to use paint. Can someone open the paint for us?
Can you open this for us?
Actually, I can. You know, believe it or not, Jews aren't very good at building or painting. In fact, the last Jew to ever really use a hammer was Jesus.
I don't know how you can tell me to use paint on the walls when you don't even know how to open it.
Yeah, maybe we could get someone to open it. Can we put an ad on Craigslist or something?
Does this paint stain?
No, it washes off.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's all washes off. Yeah, it washes off.
Okay.
Sure. Most
I mean,
paint does.
I don't want to stain my dress.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. I'm sorry this didn't work out, but we thank you all for coming. All right. Good luck with everything, and we're gonna say thanks. All right. Yeah.
Maybe we could come back on the show as
Maybe.
guests
As
or
guests.
something?
Guests.
Yeah, maybe as guests. Once we find someone to, do that. Yeah, guests. Maybe you guys could do that. Sure. I will thank you. It's really nice to meet you.
It's really
Good luck
nice
with
to
everything.
meet you.
Thank you very much. Good luck with everything. Thank you very much. Good luck with everything. All right. I guess I'm gonna go paint the set.
Good luck getting the can open.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. I loved it. And James is so hot.
So glad I'm a Scientologist.
Don't need this anymore.
Yeah, all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the James and Sunda Show. We are kicking off the fourth and best and most exciting season. As you can see, I've been through a lot since you've been gone, Sunda. You went to New York. I've been in LA. Been here in LA. I had to take care of all the upgrades myself because you have not been here. I do notice, if you guys remember, in season 2, you had broken your ankle, and we had to deal with that. It seems like you have another foot problem. What's been going on? Where have you been? Because you have no idea what I had to deal with.
I've been home. That's what I learned. I've been home.
Home.
That's what they
you
call it.
You were in New York.
Yeah. When they call it. When they call you being detained, they call it home.
Sunda was arrested. Let's just get right to it. Sunda was arrested by the
pictures.
NYPD for taking pictures. On her own block.
Right. Well, they didn't know that, they said later on. The guy was very nice to me. And he says, you know, if you weren't standing on that block, it wouldn't have happened. I said, I live here. He said, nope, I got your ID. You live in Los Angeles.
Unbelievable.
But anyway, that's what happened, and you're going to hear about it.
There was a drunk girl lying on the floor. You saw her, and you wanted to get some pictures.
I wanted to get these pictures. It would have been so
great for you. You
were
with your
you
kids
guys.
and your
husband.
The children were there. Come on.
Yes, it's
You were
traumatic.
taken in a police car, put in one of the worst holding cells in all of.
And I asked them to move the seat up, and I'm not tall, so I don't know how Ray would do it.
And you were manhandled.
I was manhandled
in a way, right?
I was.
You got a thing. Come on,
James.
Sorry, show them the thing.
James did that for the camera effect.
Show them the thing.
There's nothing. I'm not that
Look
dark.
At this.
You can see that.
This is not her skin.
All right. So with all that being said, we're gonna get over that, and hopefully my kids will get over it. But just remember that. Be aware that if you're taking pictures, the NYPD has the right to stop you and detain you and handcuff you, and you need to know that. I just think it's a message that should be sent out.
You were in jail for overnight. You were in jail overnight.
I was in jail overnight, and I am now an advocate for women in prison. There are so many women in there for the wrong reasons.
The cops were aggressively handling you.
They kicked my
Your ankle is swollen.
Both ankles are swollen.
Both ankles are swollen.
But this one's really bad. But they said I was faking. I was wearing a soft cast. He said it's not a real cast.
For what?
For what?
For what?
For taking pictures.
For taking pictures.
We're going to have to move on from this at one point because I have to move on.
We just started.
I know that.
Well, we're going to really look at this in the show. We're going to go in depth with this in the show. We have a tremendous show. We're going to talk to Sunda's husband who was there, get his side of the story. We're not going to talk to the children. They've been traumatized.
Oh, dude, you need to get them on.
The cop threatened to put her children into foster care.
You need to get my kids on, not
get
today,
their side of the story?
but to get their side of the
if
story.
If they're willing to talk, that would be. But
how are you going to shut them up?
That's true.
They are so
They were texting me all night.
They texted my dear friend who's a cop, his wife, and says, Aunt Maureen, please have Uncle Jimmy get my mama out of jail. Wow. And she didn't hear the phone ring because she has a hearing problem, so she never heard the beep. But it's really a horrible story because the kids had to witness that, and I've always taught them to respect the authorities. I have a degree in criminal justice. I have worked behind the scenes. I've never been on the other side of the cell. I can tell you that.
Now you haven't. Sunda called me from jail several times, collect. There's one phone they can call you, collect. And the funny thing is when it came up the first time, I didn't answer it. She called it because it's a Texas number. You're in a Manhattan prison, but a Texas number comes up. And I was like, I don't know anybody in Texas. Yeah, seriously.
Then why did you answer it the second time?
Because then I was like, why is Texas calling me at midnight? You know what I mean?
Right.
So then I answered it, and that's when I heard that you're.
Give them an impression of me calling you collect.
Well, first it says, it says, your phone does not accept collect calls. So if you want to accept this call from, and I hear, Sunda. Sunda. And I'm like, Sunda? it's $30 for the first 3 minutes, and then $10 for each additional minute.
That's
So
terrible. It's a ripoff.
Yeah,
but God
so-
bless you. I have to say something. As crazy as we may be, he is a true friend, because my other friends would have thought it was a crank call and hung up.
I accepted the collect call every single time.
And I was calling as often as I
think
could.
she called at least 10 times, which is about $300,
Would you? Well,
$400,
Jamie,
$500.
what
It's
would you do?
fine. No, I was glad you called, because every time I saw that you were calling from that number, I knew you were still in jail.
So you knew where I was.
I knew where you were.
You
exactly.
knew where I was.
I knew where you were, and that was comforting.
And
to know where you
there's
were.
some things that I saw that I can't, because it's too explicit and graphic to repeat. But my God,
Too explicit and graphic.
I
Wow.
couldn't do it. Now I can't sleep.
Well,
I
we're
can't
we're
sleep.
gonna really talk. You're gonna find out things you're not gonna leave, like the prisoners, what the prisoners are like.
Aw.
You like the prisoners? They're your friends.
Well, when they offered me my own cell until my lawyer came back, I said no. I'm going back with my friends. I mean,
she didn't wait. They offered you your own cell.
well, I was waiting for the lawyer, and they said I could stay there, and I said no. I'm going to go back with them because I won't be by myself
No, you
and
don't want
then
to
see a
be by
roach.
yourself. There were
Roaches are everywhere in
Everywhere.
this prison, everywhere. All right, there's nothing you can do. Pregnant roaches, women with lice who are sitting there like and with makeup.
But you know, while you were there in jail, I did have to deal with a lot of stuff here. I really did, and
Was it fun? Did you miss me?
It wasn't as traumatic as yeah. Of course, I missed you. Absolutely, I would have been nice if you were here. It would have been much better if you were here. You wouldn't have gone to jail.
True, but I see black. You should
Where
have
do you
black
see black?
stripes on this.
Well, I did
That's
the
what
best
I
I could.
see. We're gonna have to
we
talk to Ray
interviewed a
Bruni.
bunch of people to come in and
Yeah.
help us. We really did, and it was a disaster.
Well, where was Ruben Pruis?
Ruben is a film director, and we had him come in, but he makes you do it over and over and over again.
Well, that's okay depending on what you're doing.
So he says, do it again, say it again, now from this angle. And
If
that
you're going
angle.
to jail, you're called a recidivist. Did you know that?
Really?
Recidivist.
If you go back,
Recidivist.
recidivism. Right.
Never going back.
You're never going back. Well, so she
Except
thinks.
maybe to put you up for a comedy show.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. We have an incredible show. We'll get to the
Break
bottom
out.
of Sunda's arrest. She's still getting used to being on the outside, so just give her a break, give her a chance. It's okay. She's going to be okay.
I'm going to be okay.
We'll take a break. You'll see a little bit more of what I had to go through while she was gone.
I want you to shut up. Okay.
All right. At least she's still got that going. She's not 100% different. I still recognize you a little bit. And all right, we'll be right back, right?
Yeah,
We'll be right back.
We'll be back.
All right, ladies, you did tremendous work, really, but I don't think any of that was exactly right for you all, so I think I know something you can do and do well, all right? And I think I got the right job for you, okay? We took you around, we tested you on a lot of things, and you showed a high level of confidence. And
We're one step closer.
one step closer.
Can we get you?
In this economy, we're able to give you girls a job. So this is really exciting.
Well, I was gonna make a bad joke about Jews having a lot of money, and then that would have been really awkward. So
That's terrible. Yeah, no, that's really.
But
That's called anti-Semitism.
It's
called anti-Semitism.
I just said that I really liked Jewish people. So.
And then you were gonna make a joke about.
But I
money.
thought this was a comedy show, so that's all.
You think that's the kind of comedy we do on this show? We talk about Jews and money. You think that is that nice? Is that nice?
Jews and money.
Why don't we do some big nose jokes? Let's do some big nose jokes. Why don't we? Anybody got one?
so awkward. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because I don't want to be like Mel Gibson and
Yeah. you don't wanna-
I really don't want to make fun of Jewish people. It's the last thing I would ever want to do.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. It's so awkward. It's the most awkward thing. I'm so sorry. I don't even know if I can I love I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So awkward.
In a lot of ways, it's almost worse than what Mel Gibson did. Your joke. In a lot of ways, don't you think?
Her joke is worse?
Than what Mel did. Yeah.
That's a little rude.
What I said.
She's crying.
She's crying. Well, of course she's crying because she's saying she's.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a really hard week.
Well, I'm a Scientologist, so yeah, I don't know if I could ever become a Jew. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We forgive you. So as you can see, we have a Scientologist we've just hired. We have someone who's borderline anti-Semitic, but she's getting in touch with that, and she's feeling bad about it. So we're saving someone. We're saving a life right there. And then you, on the other hand, you seem
Polygamist?
polygamist. Oh, even better. Okay, and we have a polygamist. This is tremendous.
Next, our anti-Semitism expert weighs in on Sunda's encounter with the NYPD.
You know my theory about Jimmy.
And later, we'll meet a young writer who tells a harrowing tale of his abusive and challenging childhood.
All right, welcome back to the show. So this year we have an official sponsor, Outsick. You know Outsick. It's America's newest, most popular, favorite board game. The nation has Outsick Fever. And there is a national competition going on right now as we speak.
Right now.
And this week's winner is Molly Rosen from Missouri Valley, Iowa.
All right, Molly, yeah!
Molly, congratulations, yes.
So how did she outsick us?
This week, she has gout,
Okay.
and she had a gout flare-up. I guess she must have eaten some meat or something, and her big toe got so big she couldn't get her shoe off, which then caused circulation problems. All right, and her circulation shut down. She had to be rushed to Community Memorial Hospital. As we speak, she is in critical condition.
Wow.
Very
tremendous,
exciting.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. Great move, Molly.
Great move, Molly.
Great move. Good luck.
Good luck in the
If you
game.
drop dead, you win. And of course, your prize this week, Molly, is the home edition of Outsick. So congratulations, Molly.
We're going to autograph it. We're going to autograph
We'll
it.
autograph it, absolutely. All right, now, joining us on the program, one of our favorite guests, Sunda's husband, Mark Zaffron, so we could hear probably a more accurate version of what happened to Sunda on the night of the incident. Zaffron, how are you?
Are you assuming that Sunda is not accurate in her telling her story?
I'm not saying she's not accurate, I just said you'd be more accurate.
You mean a different perspective.
Fine. So what really happened?
So what happened is that, to tell the story from the beginning, we were returning from a play. We went to see a friend's son perform in a play, and we went out to dinner afterwards at the diner in Hackensack, New Jersey. We come home, we get home at 1 o'clock in the morning. The neighborhood is a zoo. It's like Disneyland for college students.
You're with the kids, right?
Oh, yeah, we're with the kids. Kids are in the back seat, sound asleep in the car. We go looking for a parking spot. As I'm coming around 9th Street, I noticed there's some girl laying in the middle of the street in her own vomit. There's police. There's one police car stopping somebody on 2nd Avenue. We find a parking spot. Unfortunately, it's close to the 2nd Avenue. I get the Viva out of the car. I have to carry it to the house. And then Sunda's trying to get Tova through this crowd of 90 people.
So Tova was with you.
I had her. I had the kids.
Ran back to get Tova. I lift Tova up, and Sunda says, "Let me take a picture of this girl laying in the sidewalk." There's this kid. It had to be a kid on the street. She's laying in her own vomit with 4 policemen looking down, staring at her, and the 5th one is across the street talking on his cell phone. So Sunda takes a picture, and then she goes and she wants to talk to the supervisor.
Why did I want to talk to the supervisor?
She goes out, she said, "Who's the supervisor?" "I'm the supervisor." "Get out of the street."
No. He hit me first, and then I asked for his supervisor.
Isn't this my turn to tell my side of what happened?
You didn't get hit.
He goes right over to Sunda. He doesn't talk to her. He just screams at her and pushes her, knocks her on the sidewalk.
Oh, he just throws her down.
Just pushes her down. And he yells, "Cuff her." These other people come running that my kids are alone in the house. I run back to get the kids. When I get back, there are these 2 policemen, each about 280 pounds, on top of Sunda. She's screaming, "My children," in front of my kids. They wrestled my wife down to the ground, and they did it in between one of those sidewalk sheds and a van. Wrestled her to the ground, and they're handcuffing her. And I say to the policeman, I said to the sergeant, I said, "Sergeant, please release my wife. She hasn't done anything." He looks at me and he says, "You don't shut up. I'm going to arrest you too." I look at him. I said, "And then what am I going to do with my children? I got 2 children here." And he says to me, he says, "I'll put them in foster care. ACS will take care of them." That's when I realized there was something wrong. This policeman is not acting rationally. I took the kids, put them back in the house, went back over to the precinct. So the next day, I think a little clearly, and I called Arthur Schwartz, and I said, "Arthur, you take care of this because I can't." He says, "Smart move." Arthur had to run down there to find out that they intentionally did not send the paperwork down. Sunda's in the Tombs, by the way, They intentionally did not send the paperwork down. He had to run back to the precinct to force them to send their write-up of the complaint to the DA's office so that they can write the formal complaint.
Are you saying that they intentionally didn't do this paperwork to keep her there longer?
They knew exactly what they were doing. They claimed that they sent the paperwork down, and Arthur said to them, the DA says he didn't get it. It's one fax. They intentionally did not send the paperwork down. That is my allegation.
All right, well, we got to take a break, Mark. Thank you very much for your side of the story. We appreciate it. We will see you again on the show for another exciting edition of This Week in Anti-Semitism.
I love you.
I love you too.
When we come back, forensic psychologist Dr. Scott Frazier helps Sunda sort through the stress of her recent arrest in Manhattan.
Be sure to like us on Facebook at The James and Sunda Show.
All right, welcome back to the show. Now joining us on the program, we have a neurophysiologist, Dr. Scott Frazier. He is an expert on eyewitness testimony, human night vision, and stress, and he testifies around the world and also teaches at UCLA and USC. Thank you for being here.
We are so happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
If I haven't said that enough already.
So Sunda is having some stress reactions since the incident. She cried on the way here today. I was driving and a cop car came by, and that just triggered an emotional reaction. And
why don't you explain to him how the cop car came? It just wasn't driving nicely.
I mean,
let's
just wondering,
not blow
how
this out of
long is
proportion.
this going to go on? Like, how long do I have to deal with this? Because I drive her a lot.
No, it wasn't you. You're driving. It was she saw the police come at it and the sirens and all the things that are associated with law enforcement. Just after having a weekend, as you described earlier in the show, of this traumatic experience, being arrested for apparently nothing that was unusual, certainly nothing that was that criminal per se, and being manhandled and in front of her own children and her husband in a context, and that would trigger off the human alarm reaction pattern in any of us. And you're going to remember that for a long time, the affect of it. You're going to remember the emotion. You're going to remember the feelings involved. That's all part of the body's normal physiological preparedness for danger and threat. And then you go, after being booked, you're taken down to one of the worst city prisons in the nation, if not the world, the Tombs, right? Which having one of the oldest prisons in the United States, hasn't been renovated, hasn't been improved in any way, probably not brought into the 20th century, forget about the 21st century. And I bet you had a cast of characters right out of a Pirandello play, right?
I don't know about Pirandello, but I'll tell you something. I am so happy to be here and to be out, and I have to say it took a lot. I mean, our executive producer, Sue Katz, had a lot to do with it, to be encouraging, to be like, oh, come on, you can do this, you can do this. It doesn't matter that you just met a woman that, stabbed somebody.
No,
she had to stab him.
She had to stab him, right?
I had to stab him,
There's
right.
times when there are necessary things to be done, right?
You
have to tell them. You have to tell them.
I know what it's like to have to
because this
stab
is all
somebody.
part of the trauma. It wasn't just the arrest, bad enough. It wasn't just happening in front of your family, worse. It wasn't being manhandled and treated without respect and dignity as a citizen, even worse, right? But you went down and you had to spend a whole night there, right? Whole night in a place that makes you creepy crawly if you were just watching it from afar. Tell them about the kind of people that are down there, all right?
They're just people who I don't need to be with. I can look at them on television. It's not like a Law and Order episode, I can tell you that. It's definitely the most disgusting place I've ever been to.
So you didn't hear cha-chung at all while you were there?
Well, when the gates close, it's a very bad feeling. It's a feeling of it's scary.
Right. No escape.
There's no escape. There's no way out. There's no windows. Somehow or
another. So fight or
another.
flight now. You only got one option left.
I have one option left. That's to
and
survive.
You turn around from the bars, and like I said, you had a cast of characters. You must have. In front of you.
I started out with two that were for allegedly murder, but they got me out of there. I couldn't find. There was no phone there, and the guard said to me, "Well, listen, that's because you people call home, don't like what you hear, so then you hang up the phones and tear them up, and now you don't have a phone." And I'm thinking,
because you're a regular.
Yeah, I'm a regular.
You're
Like I
regular,
come
right.
here all the time on a Saturday. I mean, like this isn't for me. This is. And all jokes aside, when they put me in that cell block with all those women, I'm thinking, which one's going to be my girlfriend? I mean, like really, it's not even a joke. I don't want any problems. I don't want people upset. I want everybody happy. And so what I did was, I found my little corner, and I sat there, and then I noticed that the bathroom had no door, which means you can see, like you could see from here up. So I was wondering what people were doing, but you could see them, and you don't want to look. You're like turning away.
Did you look?
Yeah, I was like, she's going to the bathroom. And then I was really freaked out by the one woman I told you who actually sat down on the toilet seat, because there was no way I would be sitting up. I wouldn't even drink the water because I was afraid I would have to use the bathroom.
Talk about how you, in fact, escaped potential addition danger in that jail cell. I said you no longer have escape as an option, so now what are you going to do? And you actually engaged in a series of actions that made you an ally to all those. You were kind of the unexpected Mother Teresa that came in.
Let me tell
and
you,
helped all of these women who had problems that they themselves couldn't solve. Tell them what you did.
I was telling Dr. Frazier that I met a 20-year-old woman whose mother didn't know that she was locked up. She has a 6-month-old son. And what happened was you can't call collect. You're supposed to make a collect call, but you can't make a collect call because you call collect, you are charged. When I called James Collect, it was 30.
The many times that she called me collect, it was $30 for the first 3 minutes, and then it was like $12 for each additional minute.
Right.
All right? So thank God she only called like 6 or 7 times.
Right. I was scared. But that's not the point. The point is that I had my husband call the mom, okay? I had my husband call the mom of the girl that was incarcerated. And he said that when he got that phone call from me, that he knew I would be okay. He said he felt relieved. He said he knew I would be fine. He said I won the crowd over. I don't know about winning the crowd over, but
you certainly became a resource for them that they didn't have.
Right.
And so the danger now is dissipated.
Well, it's right. It's but not completely ameliorated. So that's when I got James involved, and I called him collect.
That's when I came in.
Right.
Because there was someone that wanted to reach out to her boyfriend on Facebook.
And if you're in prison and you need to contact your boyfriend, just call me.
Call James.
I'm the guy. So I Facebooked him. I did. I didn't friend him, but when I got to his Facebook site, a couple of things were interesting. Number one, he said he was a panhandler. He enjoys hopping on freight trains and going from town to town and meeting interesting people. And he had more friends than I did, which I thought was really interesting. He had more Facebook friends than me. And I then had to compose a message, but I was terrified because I didn't want him to think.
You don't want him to
that
know.
I knew his girlfriend, right? So it took me like an hour to put together a message that I felt was innocuous and that I was comfortable with. So I was like, first I was like, I hope all is well.
How's the travels going?
Right. My name is James, and my friend is in jail. And she said your girlfriend was in jail, and then your girlfriend asked my friend to tell me to email you. And so I'm emailing you to tell you that my friend told me your girlfriend said that she wasn't going to get out until Monday. Because I didn't want any connection with the girlfriend because he could be crazy. He comes find me. I didn't know what was going to happen. Exactly. So I did that. I Facebooked him. Sunda kept like guilting me. She was like, it's a good thing to do. It's a nice thing to do.
I want to live.
And then the shoplifter in the background, after I agreed to do it, said, I'm going to pick something up for him.
Literally. She's going to literally pick something up for you.
All right. Well, we got to take a break. Dr. Frazier, thank you so much for joining us.
My
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. You okay?
I don't know yet.
No, but one thing before you leave, it's really important. We talked about this before, right? You really need to work through with some kind of desensitization. You have a huge emotional reaction now to law enforcement, to police. And that's not adaptive in any way, because they can be a source of comfort and security to you, and your children for sure. Okay. Right? And that you can't just let lie and say, well, they'll grow out of it. They're not going to grow out of it. Right? And they require some kind of professional care so that they don't have these emotional responses in light of seeing some person in positions of authority. You can't just let this lie, because your body will naturally keep it in there, right? We remember things from fear, right, for the rest of our lives, because it's adaptive. Things that are dangerous and that are threatening, you remember them first and foremost. So needs to be worked through. So before anybody here thinks we're going to laugh this off and go away, there's a serious side to this.
Thank you.
Right?
It is.
And it's really important that it be taken care of.
Thank you. And be taken seriously.
Thank you very much. All right, we will be right back.
When we come back, a young man whose life became a lie as he hid the pain of growing up with an abusive father.
And like PBS, the James and Sunda Show is in desperate need of some cash infusion. We've got an online fundraising campaign that will hopefully keep us on the air, and you can help. welcome back to the show. Joining us now, we have 21-year-old author Adam Rendon.
Yes, thank you.
And you're laughing already, which is a good
author of the book Valley, spelled V-A-L-L-I-E.
Yes.
That's good. That's a lie.
There's
Tell us
plenty
the
of
background.
lies. The background of the book. Growing up, as a child, I lived in a family of 4. My father was an abusive alcoholic, and I was the baby of the family, and I seen everything, but I never told anybody about anything. So as I started growing up, I started to lie, make up lies after lies, just so people won't know my background.
You're not supposed to, right?
Yeah. So we moved from the area that we were in to a better place to hide from my father, and since then it was just lie after lie. And the basis of the book is just the walkthrough of how the lie progressed and how the lie fell apart. In high school, some dramatic things happened, and my story started to fall apart from beginning to end, and I just told everybody what was going on, and that opened a lot of eyes. Everyone thought I was perfect, and they realized like that wasn't the case.
Well, when you say you were perfect, not certainly you were perfect, but your story just was too perfect.
Yeah.
It was a perfect little story, the perfect little house, and there was other things going on.
Yeah.
My question is, how was your mom able to hide and do make these moves? How you all work together on this, of course, right? The family?
No, actually no. My family lived their life as they were living. Some people knew about the abuse, but a lot of people didn't believe about it. With me, most of my lies were just in school. So I became popular, and I didn't want anybody to know any imperfections I had.
What were some of your best lies?
Best lies that I was going to be on MTV in the show Made.
Really?
I concocted that lie, and that's actually what threw me up there in the status of high school. Everyone wanted to be my friends because they wanted to be on the show. I made fake contracts, and it just went into that
you were a gifted
depth.
liar.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
really took it far.
You could get a job on this show.
That's incredible.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, it was just
I'm telling the truth.
so detailed in everything that I tried to do.
You had all the details
Yeah,
going, and you were able to keep track of the lies.
Yes.
Do you think you're a pathological liar?
No, that was only in high school.
But just a story test. You think you grew out of that?
Yeah, definitely. I have no one to
do?
impress anymore.
How do we know you're not lying?
I don't think anybody would want to put their life on blast like that.
That's true.
Especially for me to tell people that I was sexually abused by 2 female neighbors at the age of 6.
It's very different than saying I was on Made.
Yeah, definitely different than that.
They were watching you?
Who was watching me?
The 2 female neighbors. Were they
No,
in your care, or?
They were just neighbors, and I was friends with their son, and I got home from school one day, and he invited me over, and from there, trusting him is what they used to basically tie me up to a chair and do things to me. The worst part about that is they also used the son in the acts of it.
You know, you have to find pain.
Yeah.
Pain, humor comes from pain.
Oh, yeah,
and there's so
definitely.
many people that have been abused, and so
Definitely.
many people who would never come out the way you have, and to
Yeah.
be so young and to do that has probably opened the doors for so many
It has,
young kids to say, it's okay to say, my life is not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your your dad's an alcoholic, your mom's an alcoholic, and the excuse is, my mom's sick. She's sick today. She can't be at the PTA meeting. I was late for school because my mom was sick. My dad was sick. Why are you black and blue? I fell down the stairs. I mean, do you have any examples that you can give us that you did in your ballet?
As far as any abuse, the only proof I really had was my father. One day I got home, and they were all eating, and I was in the after school program, so I got home a little late. And the first thing he did, like, why are you late? I sat at the table, and he hurled a cup towards my face, and it left me a couple marks, and then he slapped me. So after doing that, I mean, I went to school with kind of some bruising and stuff, and my sister trying to conceal it and stuff. And obviously, I'm a kid. I'm always going to be wiping my face. And one of the teachers asked me, like, what happened? I fell. And realistically, you don't fall at that angle the way the bruise was. And it's just, you can tell that the teacher really wanted to say something, but there's people who don't want to get involved. So there's people who know about certain things that go around, but they just don't want to get involved, so they don't ask or further the statement of what was said.
Well, I have to tell you, to be so young with the wealth of talent you have to offer, we look forward to seeing and hearing more from you.
Sweet.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Thank
you. Thank you.
We got to take a break. We will be right back. Adam Rendon, right?
Coming up, get your checkbook handy. You know who I am. The James and Sunda Show needs your help to stay alive.
And I get to tell you why the world is going to heck in a handbasket because of Jimmy Carter.
Email us your comments at jamesandsunda@gmail.com.
Just keep it going, just keep it going, just keep it going, just keep it going, keep it going. All right. Wow, welcome back to the show, Sunda.
Yes.
So how are you? You know, it's just us now. How are things?
Well, what do you think? I'm having crazy dreams. I had the craziest dream.
Well, you know, you got to tell your side of the story, and Zaffron got to tell his side of the story.
Tell your side of the story.
I like to tell my side of the story. I was home watching television.
What were you watching? Or playing Madden?
I wasn't playing Madden. I wasn't playing Madden. I was just watching television. Look, I was at your place, and I was looking to buy a movie on demand so that you would pay for when you got your cable bill. And I got a text from Aviva, and it said, "Mama's in jail." Something like that. It said, "Mama's in jail." And I wrote back, "What?" And she wrote back that we're at the police station right now. The kids were at the police station.
I know.
And I said, "What's going on?" I wrote back, "What's going on?" And then Tover and Aviva were both texting me. And I remember then I wrote, "They have internet there at the jail?" Because they have phones that has to have internet. So they said, "Yeah, there's internet here at the jail." So they let your kids use the internet. At least they gave them the password to use the NYPD internet.
Right, that means they know everything that we're texting now. I don't trust them. They had to look in my eyes.
Your kids wrote something, and I said, "Be nice, don't write that. They know what's going on," because they wrote something about the police, you know, something about they were angry at the police.
Right.
For what they did to Mama. For what they did to Mama. So now I get these text messages, and I'm thinking you're in jail, and that's when it becomes difficult for me. I start having panic.
Because who's going to cook?
And anxiety, and I get very nervous, and I'm looking for medication, something to take to help me, you know, get through this. And then you called me collect at $30 a minute, and we spoke.
Let's explain that. I had no idea it was going to be that much money, and it's not even that you can call collect. It won't accept a collect call.
It's the biggest ripoff in the world. If you go to prison, it is just so horrible the way to have to make these phone calls. You don't want to go to prison.
You call and you say, "Sunda," and you have to have a credit card. So James had to charge this on his credit card. Yeah. My suspicion is that because they're also paying for the recording, the monitoring stuff.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Let me tell you, one day there'll be something funny about this, and this is a comedy show, but right now, to be thrown down in front of your two kids, having to call your boy from the tombs is just not a joke, because James is not, he's hernia prone.
I'm hernia prone,
and he's got all other issues, and I just felt so bad.
She flew in to tape this show from New York. You know, she got out of prison, she flew in to tape the show, and you're still adjusting to life on the outside. I get that. And her luggage, the luggage that you brought, it was labeled heavy, extra heavy luggage, and I had to carry it, so I could be having a hernia
James,
situation
you could have been in jail with me.
I never would have survived.
You never would have survived.
Not a second, no.
No, you wouldn't have.
You won the crowd. I would never have won the crowd.
No, I didn't win the roaches.
No, you didn't win the
They have lice, they have roaches, it's disgusting.
I don't know how
and I'm going to become an advocate for women in prison, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, those women that are put in prison, you're shoplifting. You got a joint on. You got something going on. I mean, you should not be thrown in with these hardcore criminals. It's wrong. The ratio of men to women is unbelievable, so that's why the women weren't getting out. They weren't getting out until Monday.
Wow.
All right, and that's a Friday night arrest.
And what was the thing about if you went to the hospital because you were beaten up pretty badly, you would have then gotten put back in the system?
Right. Cops said if you go to the hospital, you're going to have to be put back in the bottom of the papers again.
In the jail, in the tombs over there, was there anybody in there like you? Was there anybody in there who really shouldn't have been there that was just like the cops were just sort of giving someone a hard time? Everybody else in there was
There was one woman,
legit?
she was full of it. She was full of it. She was like, "I don't know, I was in Tiffany's, I was shopping, and and all of a sudden there was," she didn't say Tiffany's, it was another store, very high level, but she said, "Somehow there was another bag that was placed on my bag and they're accusing me of shoplifting," and I was like, "Dude, you're a pro, okay?" Like, I don't believe your story.
Is she the one who in the background offered to get
No,
me
she's the one in the background who was going to tell on another girl for smoking tobacco, and I'm just like, I was so afraid of a riot or something. I was just I wanted everybody happy. That's what I wanted. How you doing? Hello, how you doing? Let's make everything happy. It's not a joke.
And one lady actually asked you to take a nap on her leg?
No, she said I could share a mat with her. She said, "Come on." She said, "Because these Chinese girls been here too long." She said, "Get off the mat. Get off the mat." And I was like, "They're not Chinese. They're Korean." And I thought they were in for
You can tell.
Of course I can tell.
Wow, she can tell.
And so what happened that was so unbelievable is that when the Chinese woman came in, The same woman, let's just call her Jean Lady, said, why don't you help her? She can't use that phone. Help her out in your language. And I was like, she's not Chinese, she's Korean.
Well,
There's a difference.
Sunda, I think you're doing great.
But
you
that's
look great.
There's
We're
more
gonna take
stories,
a break.
I'm sure. Let's take
We'll
a break.
get more into this later. Okay, we'll get more into this later. We will be right back.
Maybe.
For sure. So, in this part of the show, what we want to tell you about is Sunda and I, we've started an Indiegogo. That's INDIGOGO.com. Indiegogo. No, I spelled it wrong, Megan. Megan's nodding her head saying I've spelled it wrong. How do you spell it?
Lovely Megan.
I-N-D-I-E.
Like indie.
INDIEGOGO.
Like
Indiegogo.
going to go.
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Okay, Indiegogo.com. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise some money, right?
For my bail.
For Sunda's bail. Your money will help pay for Sunda's defense fund. It will pay for her bail. It will also pay for some upgrades on the show.
How about tuition?
Tuition. We want to upgrade the show. Like, as you can see, we've painted the set again, but we want to paint it like about 10 more times. And paint is expensive. So at the Indiegogo.com, you can see more about what we're offering and what you could get if you contribute to some things.
And it's entertaining. Why not? Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Look. See us in action.
See us in action. So
see how happy I used to be.
See how Sunda was before the incident. So we're going to show you a little clip of the Indiegogo campaign, right? We're going to show them a little clip of that campaign. So take a look at this.
You want to be on this television show?
We'll
$50,000.
$50,000?
For $50,000.
She'll interview you.
Is that too much? Okay. For $10,000, we will have you on $5,000? For $5,000, we will have you during the entire show sitting with us co-hosting. And you can't beat that. A whole show.
That's not good.
Okay.
A segment, yeah.
For $5,000.
Imagine that. I could barely
Hit the ball, aim high, hit the ball, aim low, hit the ball, go. Come on.
I could barely sit there for the whole show.
Okay. Listen,
One segment.
For $5,000, we'll let you co-host an entire segment of our show.
Why don't we just give them a segment with us? $5,000, they could sit with us for the segment.
They're going to sit with us.
We'll interview them.
Right. For $5,000, we're going to ask you questions. We're going to have you on the show. You'll be on TV.
Yeah.
Are you on TV?
You'll be our celebrity guest.
You'll be our celebrity guest. That's right.
$5,000.
$5,000. Now, who can offer that? Really? You hear these phones ringing? Are you calling? Is that you? It better be.
So we're going to offer lots of things. I know one thing that you could offer for a certain amount of money. I'm not sure what it is. The website has more information. You can get an autographed picture of my retina. So that's exciting. What are you offering?
I'm offering dinner. I'm going to cook dinner for you if you don't live like really far.
I know for like an embarrassing amount of money, you can come on the show and have a segment with us, do a comedy segment with us, or we could just interview you.
Right, and we could see James with his shirt off, and I could wax him, and things like that are exciting. Let me just say this. I don't know why I'm going off the Indigo thing, but I do have to say this. This woman says, as soon as a cop hits you like that and tell you to go, you need to go.
Yeah. No,
and so that was a very valid point. Instead of demanding, maybe we should offer a picture of me and the cop on Indiegogo.
How about your mugshot? An autographed copy of your mugshot for $500.
I told him he did a horrible job.
Well, let's take a look at the mugshot. We can Photoshop it.
If we Photoshop it,
We'll give you a copy as soon as mugshot, so we'll get you that.
That's a good one. You can do that for me.
All right? A couple $100.
It's fun.
So go to Indiegogo, I-N-D-I-E, Megan. Indiegogo.com. Check it out, and you will see a much more incredible show if you can even possibly imagine one.
And you should be on this show. You should love this show. This show has we have so much information that you're not going to get anywhere else. We have everything from, we've had Vidal Sassoon, God rest his soul.
We'll give you a chance to argue with Sunda's husband.
You could argue with my husband for free. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's expensive.
He is expensive. He's expensive.
Arguing with Zafran costs money.
And it's a lot of aggravation. I don't listen. I don't listen. He doesn't argue with me.
And Jimmy Carter, if you're out there and you want to be on the show for $10 million, you could be on the show. All right, we got to go. That's the end of our show. First show of the new fourth season.
First show of the new season. Glad to be out. Glad to have you back.
Yes.
Hey, we're back,
the
guys.
James and Ex-Con show. We'll see you next week on the James and X Con Show. Good night.